No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. We are early. Surprise, surprise. This is a first for us. I'm sure that the three people that are already in here are like, wow, this is, hell has frozen over. Well, we decided to switch things up a little bit tonight. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for joining us on the All In Show here on the Clemson Voice of College Football YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll give you guys some time to get on in because I am sure you weren't expecting us to be, 10 minutes early. But Tiger Paw Craven, as you know, he's a softball dad. He's got responsibilities, so he had a little bit of a down period, and this was a better time to start the show. But got a jam-packed show for you guys regardless. Going to talk all about Syracuse coming up this Saturday. We're going to talk about the keys to the game, the matchup. Of course, we're going to wrap up our thoughts on Georgia Tech. We're going to talk about what Dabo said to the media today. So y'all just tune in and make sure that you guys hit that like button for us. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because me and TPC, we do this show every single week. And, of course, we go live after every single Clemson game to talk about the result. So I don't want to waste any more time. Let me bring on my co-host, Tiger Paw Craven, live from the softball fields. Well, the softball field parking lot. What's
right.
going on, man?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? It's good to be here. Glad that we made it to yet another edition of the All In Show. I'm excited about it. We got a lot to talk about, Jordan, and a lot of it's not good when it comes to our Clemson Tigers and how this football season is shaping up. But, hey, here we are. Me and you are in it for the long haul. Win, lose, or draw, it really doesn't matter. We're going to show up. We're going to be here for all the folks that come here and support us as well. So we'll all be in here. We'll suffer together. We'll grin and bear it, and hopefully it gets a little bit better as the season goes. But I don't have a lot of hope in that, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a turbulent time in the Clemson at Clemson University, but obviously within the fan base, this has been a noticeable, stark difference from what we expected to be talking about here 3 weeks into the season. coming into the season with all these high expectations, the media, picking this, some media members picking this team to possibly win a national championship. And now you're 1-2 through 3 weeks, and you haven't looked good in any of those games, and you haven't had much to take away positive in any of those games. So, we're going to wrap up our thoughts on Georgia Tech first and foremost. I've gone back and I haven't gone back and watched the full game. I've gone back and watched key drives. I couldn't stomach watching some of that, a lot of that game, especially the first half. But it didn't get much better on the rewatch. The first half was full of mistakes, full of missed reads, questionable, personnel usage and personnel decisions. I mean, the turnovers were backbreaking, and of course, in a game that ended up, you lose by a field goal. I mean, anytime you give up 2 possessions, when you have an opportunity, and especially against a team that likes to limit possessions for the other team, I mean that's how you lose football games. And there was just disappointing performances all throughout. And it just there's not too much that I came away from that game feeling great about. I do think that one thing that they did do well, better than I expected was run the football. But it seemed like they didn't commit to it enough, and it took them too long to figure it out. And when they ran it and when they decided not to run it was really frustrating. And obviously, a couple of those decisions might have been the difference between a turnover and even just a field goal in the red zone. But TPC, what did you see? I mean, have you gone back and rewatched the game? Because
I did not go back and rewatch the entire game, but I did suffer through and go back and watch the entire first half of that football game.
Yeah.
And it was rough, man. It was rough. This team has just completely regressed. Like, this offense looks nothing like I thought it would at this point in time in the season. And, I know we're missing Antonio Williams, but that one guy can't be that important to an offense. Not when you come in the season touting, oh, we got 3 waves of terror and, oh, we can roll in, 6, 7 guys at wide receiver and we feel comfortable that each and every one of them can win. Clearly not. Clearly that's not the case. And, don't get me started on Cade Klubnik. He's nowhere near a Heisman contender. He looks like he's regressed back to the 2023 version of himself, and maybe even worse than that. I mean, that's just frank. That's just being completely honest. That interception that he threw in the red zone, when you're going down and you're basically guaranteed points at that point, you just can't make a critical mistake like that. You can't. And I know the defense came up with a big turnover after that, and we did turn it into 7 points eventually. But at the end of the day, that kind of stuff's unacceptable. The fumble, I mean, I get it. It was a great hit. He should have secured the ball a little bit better, but that's kind of football. Those things happen. But those were 2 critical turnovers that really hampered Clemson when it came to winning this game. And it's just, I don't really know what our offensive identity is right now. I don't think Clemson has one. And that's probably the most glaring of issues that we have right now offensively as a team, is we don't have an identity. They refuse to commit to the run. I think Cade Klubnik, correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, did he have more runs combined? Did he have more runs than all the running backs combined against Georgia Tech? Is that correct?
That is probably correct, because I believe Cade had 17 carries.
17 carries, yeah.
And Adam Randall had 15. And if I can pull it, I believe Gideon Davidson had 1 run, and he was the only other running back that got a carry in this game.
Yeah, he had 1 run for 6 yards. It was a good looking run too. But I mean, that's just part of it, right? Like, I'm not saying Cade can't run the ball, but like, we got to get these other running backs involved as well. Cade doesn't need to be running the ball 17 times a game. I don't think he needs to be doing that. Yeah, he can be a part of the run game, and that's something that Clemson's kind of always done with their quarterbacks that are capable of doing that. But at the end of the day, you got to get that running game going. You got to commit to it, and they just refuse to. And I don't know where we go from here, Jordan. As an offense, as a team as a whole, it seems like this team is playing extremely tight. It feels like that they, feel the weight of the college football world on their shoulders. They don't appear to be having any fun out there when playing football. They don't appear to be playing with any sort of like real energy or excitement or swagger about them whatsoever. This team looks lost. They look lost. They look like they have no identity. And I mean, we're going to find out if they can respond right now, because starting the season off 1-2 is not something that we ever thought was going to be a reality for this team coming into the season. But yet here we are. And that is our reality. And will this team be able to respond? Because if not, I mean, this can get off the rails really quick and turn into not just a disappointing season when you measure it against the preseason hype that you came in with, but a catastrophic season is what it could turn into.
Yeah, catastrophic is the word. I mean, listen, this program, this town, this university is not used to 7-5, at least not in the last 15 years or so. It's been a hot minute since the standard has dipped that low. I mean, and for good reason. And Dabo Swinney deserves a ton of credit for that. And we're going to talk about what he said in the media today. But the reality is this is not even close to what you can say. Yeah, the fans and the media hyped this team up, but they internally believed that they were going to be much better than this. Like they set expectations for themselves. They spoke to the media and set high expectations. So
right.
you can't say that. I saw some people, like, it wasn't a large portion of fans, but I saw some on social media being like, well, it's not the players' fault that this team had all these expectations and all this hype. And I'm like, well, they also believed in the hype, and they also had high expectations for themselves. This coaching staff thought that this team was going to be a lot better than it was. So, I mean, miss me with this is just the fans and media, being disappointed and piling on. Like, sure, there could be some of that, but the reality is this team is not meeting their own expectations internally, and they know that. And so I don't BS me with this is a fan problem. This is not a fan problem. This is all on Dabo Swinney, the shoulders of Dabo Swinney and this coaching staff. And you got to get these guys to play better. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know if it's salvageable. I mean, listen, this is a different era of Clemson football. These players are getting paid. You have to question, with some of the performances from some of your better players, you wonder how much they're putting into this. And I hate doing that. And that's not something that we're used to saying about a Dabo Swinney coach Clemson football team. But I'm seriously questioning whether this team cares. At least cares enough to turn this thing around. And that's, like I said, I've never said that about a Dabo Swinney football team. Even when they were 4-4 in 2023, I didn't look at that team and say, man, they just don't care. They're not trying. Right. I have to wonder if this team, has that level of fire, because even the 2023 team turned it around, one out, wasn't pretty at times, but they found a way to get those wins. And so, and there's quite a few players that were on that team that are on this team. So I don't understand, when I turn on the tape and when I watch this team, why I see what I see and why and how it's this entire how does an entire team regress from one year to the next? It's not even just like one position group that just isn't playing up to standard. It is like across the board. Quarterback not as good as it was. Running back, honestly, I mean, I've talked about Adam Randall ad nauseum. He is playing his ass off. So I'm not going to say anything about running backs. I think they're just not being put in the best positions to succeed, but I think they care. And I think Adam Randall especially cares. Receiver, not playing as well as they did last year. Now, some of that is just Cade is not seeing them. So I get that. Tight end, not getting as much production as last year. I don't think that's their fault either. But offensive line, massive step back. Defensive line, not living up to the hype. Linebackers, not living up to the hype. Corners, not living up to the hype. Like even your kicker, your stud, freshman kicker from last year that won you the ACC championship, he's taken a step back. He's missed 2 field goals this year, and they're
Yeah.
2 relatively easy field goals for his range. Like, and so you just wonder, like, the only position group that you feel like actually got better from last year is punter,
which is wild. Like,
legitimately, it's just punter.
The one position group that we had literally zero confidence in heading into this season is the one position group that has improved drastically for this team. And I think you mentioned something interesting there, Jordan, and it's conversations that us as Clemson fans are not used to having, but we're going to start having. Like, how many of these dudes really care? Like, that's a legitimate question at this point, because there is, and Cade Klubnik's the popular one to talk about, but there's a lot more of those stars on Clemson's roster right now that are underperforming in a huge way. And at what point could they possibly start phoning it in? Because they are millionaires and they do have big NFL aspirations, and they're going to be drafted very high next season or in this coming NFL draft, right? So at what point in time does this season get away from Clemson to the point where they're like, well, what do I really have to play for? I got to get ready for the show.
Yeah. I mean, you have to wonder. I mean, you've got Avion Terrell posting his highlights on Instagram, after the loss. And I don't want to, like, I don't like calling specific players out, but it's an example of kind of what this team seems to be about. I mean, then you go and you turn on the tape and you watch TJ Parker getting absolutely washed. I saw a post today on Twitter highlighting all of TJ Parker's reps, and they were like, he's getting flat out dominated at times.
Yeah.
Like, just a non-factor. And so, and listen, part of that is how Georgia Tech played him. I mean, he did, like, there were double teams, sure, and they did a good job. And Georgia Tech has good offensive linemen. A couple of those guys on that line were guys Clemson wanted. Jamison Riggs was a Clemson target coming out of high school. Keelan Rutledge was a portal target for Clemson. Georgia Tech is good. They have good players. But my point is like, when you have a team and you have a defense that's as highly touted as they are, I mean the team in general, but I'm specifically talking about the defense. Like, you're not getting the performances that you thought you should get from TJ Parker, Peter Woods. I thought Demonte Capehart had a good game, so that's great. Will Helt had a pretty good game, although I think he got out of his rush lanes a couple of times in some key moments. But Wade Woodaz didn't have his best game. Ricardo Jones was getting, again, I mean, this has been a kind of a consistent theme. Ricardo Jones getting picked on and in pass coverage. I mean, you're Ashton Hampton. What are you doing, man? Looking in the back, you're on Eric Rivers, one of the best receivers in the ACC. You're in man coverage. Why are you looking in the backfield to try to play the run? That is not your responsibility. I know
not your job.
Do that. I don't. You give up a big play on third down when you could have gotten off the field. Like, these are the things that you're just that are just so frustrating about, and it makes you scratch your head. Like, how does an entire team regress this way? There's something deeper, man. I don't.
There's something going on.
There's a locker room issue. I don't really think that's the problem, but there's something not adding up with the quality of players you have individually and the collective effort, the collective production that you're getting from this group on both sides of the ball, but especially offense, of course. Like, it does not make sense. It doesn't compute at all to me.
No, it really doesn't. And it's kind of to the point now where, as Clemson fans, you gotta kind of look down your schedule and you gotta be like, how many losses do we got coming this season? And that's realistic. Just being completely, transparent. You've already lost to Georgia Tech. Who else is on your schedule that can beat you? South Carolina can beat you. Louisville could beat you.
Yep.
Florida State could absolutely beat you. They look
Mhm.
way better than you right now, right? That's just to name a few people that are left on Clemson's schedule that are very losable games. I mean, you could be looking at a team that could have as many as 6 losses this season. And I'm not trying to be like hyperbolic or dramatic or anything like that, but it could happen. Like the wheels could fall off for this team. Like they have to, you know, I know Dabo mentioned they got to do some soul searching. They got to do more than that. I don't know what this team has to do to get ready to play and to perform and execute at a higher level. But if they don't, I mean, they're going to get. I mean, they got several more losses on the way this year, and it's going to get bad quick. And if Dabo thinks the fans are loud now, go out and lose a couple more games and find out how loud the fan base gets.
Absolutely, man. It just they are staring down the like this. I mean, this week is do or die. I mean, I've 1-3 is almost unimaginable. Even the 2023 team didn't start out 1-3, man. Like that,
Right.
I can't even imagine what that would look like. What does the psyche of that team look like? I mean, we're going to talk about Syracuse and what matchups and what challenges they might present this weekend. Great that you have them at home, but you also had Troy at home, so you didn't play well there either. So you know, you have no idea where this team is mentally. Like, you know, they're not playing well on the field, but like,
No.
is that deterring them, and is that going to is that going to be is it going to be a snowball thing, or is it going to be where like this team gets off the mat this week and has a big performance? I mean, at this point they just need to win the football game. So I don't even like I'm not even talking about like Clemson coming out there and blowing Syracuse out. Like,
No.
You got to win the football game, because that's where we are. There needs to be a level of desperation. Like, at this point, I don't care if they win 45-10. I don't. That's not within the cards. At least from what I've seen, I'm not even thinking about that. This team needs to be week to week. We just need to figure out how to win this game.
Yeah, you got to win. And Jordan, unfortunately, we're playing a team in Syracuse who we just traditionally struggle with, regardless of how good we are or how good we're playing coming into the game. Syracuse is always a game that we struggle immensely with, whether it's home, whether it's in their stadium. Like, it doesn't really matter. For whatever reason, we struggle with Syracuse. And I know Dino Babers is gone and they got a new coach, but guess what? He knows exactly what he's doing. It was courtesy of him last year that Clemson even made the ACC championship and got into the playoffs ultimately. So I don't feel great. I don't feel great where Clemson is right now. I don't feel great that Syracuse is up next, because we just struggle with them. Like, we just do. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even in the national championship years, we would struggle with Syracuse and barely escape with a win. And I don't know that this team is made up of the psyche right now. At least they haven't proven it on the field yet, that they can go win those close games, that they can go win those dog fights in the fourth quarter. They haven't proven to be able to do that yet. So we're in a tough spot. And like you said, it's a must win. We said last week was a must win, but I mean, essentially every game from here on out is a must win. If you want to try to even remotely resurrect what this season could be.
Absolutely. And, we're going to have to, I mean, we're going to see it, this weekend. It's really going to tell the story. I mean, if last weekend was a referendum, I mean, this is your final shot. I mean, I hate to be hyperbolic, but this team goes 1-3. I'm not predicting a turnaround. I can't.
No.
It's not. It just doesn't seem likely. So I mean, every game is must win, but now it's official desperation. You got to figure something out. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Do something different, because you need to figure out how to win this football game. And Syracuse is going to be fired up to play this game. Fran Brown has done a phenomenal job. I think this team is that's coming in. I don't think they're as good as Georgia Tech. So I will say that. And that's kind of just based off of what I've seen, not necessarily because not necessarily because of like their offense. I think their offense is actually pretty good, but defensively they have not shown me a ton that scares me. But then again, neither did Troy.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Neither did Troy, and we found ourselves losing 16-0 in that game.
Yeah.
And having to claw our way back into a game that should have never been a game to begin with. So I don't know where this Clemson team is. And the thing that scares me the most is they have no identity. So that's not good. And you mentioned, and we don't know, but what does that locker room look right now? Like, what do they look like right now? How is that communication in that locker room? Because that'll tell you, if we had that information, that would tell us the likelihood of turning the season around at some point, or the wheels coming completely off, and you lose, 4 or 5 more games.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, Clemson's wheels might be coming off, but here at the Voice of College Football Network, our wheels are still chugging along. Of course, if you guys know, we have launched a new website. So check us out at voiceofcollegefootball.com. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Of course, we have everywhere. It's your one-stop shop for everything Voice of College Football, our channels. We have our writers. We have articles. We have the schedule, the live show schedule. Go make an account. We have our message board forums for every conference, every team that you can think of. So y'all go and check that out and consider joining up over there. It is a great time. All right. This is not going to be a great time. Let's talk about what Dabo said today. I have not gone and watched the full video. I've seen the transcript. I've seen the quotes. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. It's 54 minutes, first of all, but second of all, I couldn't stomach hearing what I knew I was going to hear. And not necessarily because I, disagreed with everything Dabo says or Dabo said, but just knowing what I was going to hear and the things I did not want to hear, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And, he's certainly been getting raked over the coals today in the media, from the fan base, and in the greater college football world. But, I'm gonna let you start us. Like, what did you think about his comments? I mean, it's very similar to kind of where, the comments he made, back in 2023 and honestly after the Georgia game last season. I mean, there was a little bit of that too. But, especially 2023 season, 4-4 start. What did you kind of think about his comments, about the fan base, about the expectations, about the appreciation, all of that?
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this. And full transparency, I did not watch the entire Dabo Swinney press conference. I, much like you, knew exactly what it was going to be about. I knew exactly what he was going to say. I don't even need to listen to it at this point. Everybody who's listened to any amount of Dabo Swinney interviews knows exactly what he was going to say. And I've seen a couple clips here and there and read some things. But I'll start here. To come out and attack your fan base, and basically tell a certain sect, a certain group of the fan base, if you will, that they're basically spoiled, and their expectations are too high, and that basically they should be grateful for all the wins that have come in the past, and show a little gratitude for that, and be a little happier when we're struggling now. And what I will say to that is that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. Get out of here with that nonsense. And I love Dabo Swinney. I think he's an amazing coach. He's obviously brought Clemson 2 national championships. But, dude, wake up. Because that's the most tone-deaf thing I've ever heard of. You're the reason that Clemson fans have such a high expectation. Do you remember Dabo's comments after winning his first ACC championship at Clemson? Because I remember him, and I'm sure a lot of Clemson fans out there remember him. He told Clemson fans, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what he said, but the gist of it was, hey, stop being so excited about this. This is not the goal. The goal is much higher than this. So, when you create that culture, Dabo, directly out of your mouth, talking to your fan base, and then you rattle off probably the best decade plus of Clemson football that we've ever seen, of course the standards are high. Of course we expect you to get to the playoffs and compete for national championships. Clemson is not a university that doesn't invest heavily in their athletic department. These fans, these IPTE members, we're paying hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to go to a football game. All the IPTE dues and all that kind of stuff that we gladly pay. And then you got the audacity to be like, y'all expect too much, basically. Y'all are acting like there's a sect of the Clemson fan base that's just spoiled. No, we're not spoiled. But we absolutely expect you to hold the standard that you created. We didn't create it. You created it. So don't get mad when the fan base holds you to your own standard. Remember, best is the standard, Dabo? All that nonsense? That's all the fan base is doing. They're trying to hold you to that standard. There's a lot of talent on this team. A lot of this talent is going to be in the NFL next year. Why can't we win football games now? I don't care about the 2 national championships. Those were great. They were amazing. I wouldn't trade them for the world. Like the joy that I felt when Clemson won that first national championship, when Deshaun Watson threw the ball to Hunter Renfrow, there was no, it was the craziest feeling ever as a sports fan, right? But you can't keep living off, oh, we had this many 10-plus win seasons, or we had this many national championships, we went to the playoff this many times in a row. What are you doing now? Sports is the ultimate meritocracy. It's the ultimate, you have to update your resume or you go, right? So that's just kind of where I'm at. I can't listen to those comments by Dabo anymore. That stuff is absolutely ridiculous. And that's just kind of how I feel right now. And I'm angry. It's just flat out, I'm angry. Because this team should not be playing like this. We shouldn't be 1-2 right now. It's just disappointing. It's disappointing. And when you hear Dabo come out and say stuff like that, you feel like we're going in the wrong direction. We're not righting the ship.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy how the tenor shifted. I mean, just in just a few months. I mean, everything seemed to be trending in the positive direction. You had all of this. You had this recruiting momentum. You had, of course, everything that you had returning this year. I mean, there was a lot to be excited about, and there were reasons to believe that. Hey, I mean, Clemson absolutely can still win in this era of college football. They had to go through some lumps and some growing pains, but they're figuring it out, and this season might be special. And we truly believe that. I mean, I really did believe in this team. I mean, those of you that have been listening since the offseason knows how we felt. I mean, we didn't predict national championships, but I mean, we felt this team would be pretty damn good, and you're not even there. So this is just it's frustrating because when you hear Dabo say things like, mentioning the 2 national championships as if like that was that's the standard that Clemson fans are upset you're not meeting. Like, I'm not upset this team isn't national championship level good. I'm mad that this team isn't good at all. Like, they're just not.
We're we're not even going to be anywhere near the conference championship, much less a national championship. Like, what are we talking about right now? We could barely win a game. The only team we could beat currently right now is Troy, and that's not saying anything.
Troy just got beat by 3 scores on Saturday by Memphis. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like, and we barely beat them. Like, this team's bad. Forget national championship. Forget ACC championship at this point. This team's bad. Like, how far down into the ACC are we right now as a team, currently as we stand? Pretty far.
Well, we're 0-1, so
there's a lot of teams ahead of us. Not just record-wise, but just playing on the field, how they look. Like, it's unacceptable, man. It just is. And it's on him. He gets paid a crazy amount of money. Well deserved. I think Clemson should pay it to him. But you got to figure it out, man. You got to turn this thing around. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on. We don't have any sort of inside information into the program that's that deep that would give us any inkling of what's going on, actually inside the building. But, I mean, something's got to change, because whatever you're currently doing, it's not working. So you got to pivot. You got to change. You got to do something different, because it's just not working right now. And you're playing bad. And I know that they keep saying, oh, this stuff looks great in practice. I don't know how, because it looks terrible on game day. It looks good and terrible on game day. So, I don't know. Something's got to change. Something's got to give.
Yeah, I mean, there's a disconnect somewhere. I mean, because if you are seeing a totally different team in practice than what you're seeing in the game, that's a problem.
Right.
I mean, that's the exact opposite of what I mean. Not the exact opposite, but that's exactly what you don't want. I mean, to happen. I mean, the whole adage is that you practice how you play, like, and if you're not I don't know what they're seeing or what changes on the practice field to game day where this team just flat out can't they can't execute the basic things, the basics and fundamentals that they these are like first week of install type of things that this team is not doing very well. I can't really explain it to you. Are there injuries that we're not privy to? Probably, maybe. So some guys might be playing hurt. Who knows? I mean, you never know. Those things are always happening, and Dabo's never going to tell you if a guy is playing hurt or not. But like, there's something deeply wrong. And I don't have an inkling. I don't have a clue of what it could possibly be. So. Something, like you said, something's got to give, something's got to change. I don't care what you do on Saturday. I'm willing to try anything. Run out there and wildcat and
something, man.
Like something. I don't know, man.
And you better win on Saturday. I swear, if Clemson loses on Saturday, I don't know what our show's gonna look like, man. I don't know what it's gonna look like.
We're just going to title it we're going to change the name of the show for one episode. We're going to call it the Crash Out Show, and we're just it's going to be you and me yelling, screaming, breaking shit. I don't know what I don't know what it's going to be. Bananas.
Maybe we should I don't know. Maybe we should watch this game on stream for our YouTube members.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that to you. I think that would be a great idea.
So if you guys are interested in possibly seeing me and Jordan crash out during the Clemson-Syracuse game, be sure to go over to the description of this video or underneath any video and just click the join button. It should be right there on your screen. It says join. You can choose from the various different channel memberships there. There's a couple different tiers you can choose from, and then you can get access to our live stream this Saturday for the Syracuse Clemson game watch along.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, y'all can make sure to go, join up. we definitely want to get those exclusive live streams up off the ground and running, and rolling. So share it with your friends, Clemson friends. I mean, if you want another avenue or another avenue to watch the Clemson games with other Clemson fans, that is a great way to do it. So hit that join button, and of course we'll be doing more exclusive content throughout the year. So y'all make sure to tune in for that. And speaking of exclusive content, if you are a loyal Voice of College Football YouTube, well, not even just if you're a member, but if you are a loyal Voice of College Football YouTube viewer, we officially have merch. It is finally dropped. We've plugged it a few times now right here on the show, and I'm going to plug it here again at Voice of College Football shop.fourthwall.com/collections/Clemson. Let me go ahead and put that on the screen. There it is. As you can see, we've got assortment of hats, tees, sweatshirts, polos, game day mugs, tumblers, coolers, anything you can think of. Y'all make sure to go check them out. And you can customize them. They come in different colors. And so it is another great way to support us here on the Voice of College Football Network. So y'all make sure to go check them out. That's at Voice of College Football shop.fourthwall.com/collections/Clemson. The link is in the description as well. All right, I think this is the time we've ranted about Dabo and everything that's happened this week, but again, there's a lot of season left. So I'm as hopeless as things feel right now. Things can change in a hurry. You never know. And so this team gets another opportunity to try to win a football game this weekend. And they're facing an opponent that, throughout the years has been a pain in their side, and none other than the Syracuse Orange. This will be the first time that they are playing the Fran Brown version of the Syracuse Orange. So, is there going to be a difference in how they play between, Dino Babers and Fran Brown? I don't know. I expect them to. I expect Syracuse to bring their best game. Of course, we owe Fran Brown a lot, considering last season and his thrilling 21-0 comeback against Miami that ended up putting Clemson in the ACC championship last year. So a lot of interesting angles there. But Syracuse, as a team, 2-1, opened the year with a tough loss to Tennessee. I think they lost. I believe the final score was 45-26, but I thought they showed a lot more competitiveness than the final score said. I think they didn't play very well early, and they got in a hole, and it was kind of too much for them to overcome. But they hung around, and they had some opportunities to get back in that football game. So I think they certainly have a lot of interesting aspects to their football team. I think offensively, Steve Angeli is actually the nation's leader in passing yards. So this is going to be a team that's going to want to throw the football a lot. They have not run the ball particularly well this year, but I think that is simply because they do have a lot of confidence in their passing game and the weapons that they have. TPC, when you look at the Syracuse Orange team, what do you kind of see, and what challenges do you think they're going to present for Clemson this weekend?
Yeah, definitely a team that likes to throw the ball around the yard. I think their quarterback's up over 1,000 yards already this season in just 3 games.
Yep.
So definitely, a guy that's going to throw it around a lot. He's 80 of 125, 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the season. So they're going to spin it, man. They're gonna throw the ball around a lot. And that's going to be a test for this Clemson defense. Can we get pressure on them? Can we speed them up? Can we speed Angeli up and kind of get him, off platform and things like that. And is that secondary going to be able to hold up? You saw last week against Georgia Tech where our secondary got caught with eyes in the backfield and looking at things that weren't their assignment and getting burned up the sideline. So you got to keep that in check this week because they are going to challenge you vertically as a defense. And then, Clemson's offense, against the Syracuse defense, like, they have to establish some sort of identity. They got to run the ball. The same things we just keep saying week after week. They're just not performing. And as you said, kind of in the beginning, outlining this game is like I'm up for anything offensively in this game. You got to get a spark. You got to get something going. You got to create some positive momentum on offense. You got to create some belief on that side of the ball because we just haven't to this point in time in the season. So I'm up for anything. Like you said, Wildcat, sweeps. Just get the ball in your playmakers' hands in space. Whatever that looks like, however you have to make it happen, get your playmakers the ball out in space, and let's see what happens. And please run Adam Randall. That kid's a beast. He really is. And give these other backs some opportunities as well. I don't want to see Cade Klubnik run it another 17 times against Syracuse. But, yeah, that's just kind of a quick overview of kind of how I see this matchup and what Clemson needs to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think this Syracuse team is coming in a little bit, they've got some injury concerns offensively right now. Coming into the game, starting running back Yasin Willis, he's been labeled as questionable. Both of their tackles have been labeled as questionable. I think there's some opportunity here, defensively for Clemson. Syracuse gave up 5 sacks in their loss to Tennessee and 3 in their overtime win over UConn. I think this offensive line is certainly, obviously when you drop the ball, when you have as many dropbacks as they do this season, you're going to have sacks. But I do think that, this will probably be the best opportunity I think this defensive line will have to generate sacks, considering just kind of the vulnerabilities there and the amount of times that they are certainly going to pass the ball this weekend. I really think you got to get after it. Steve Angeli is not a rushing threat. Nice to play a quarterback that does not really pose much of a threat there. He's going to want to sit back in the pocket, diagnose, and he's done that very well this season. But he's not going to escape pressure. Like that's not his game. Backup, former backup quarterback at Notre Dame. I think defensively for this team, I really, if this is going to be a game where TJ Parker wakes up and we see a multi-sack type of game that he at times we saw last season from him, this is one of the better opportunities you're going to get. Just because I think they're not going to. I don't think they're going to run the ball super effectively in this game. They haven't this year against any of the teams they played. They ran for 44 rushing yards against UConn. They are not a prolific rushing attack, even though I think their backs they have some quality backs, and Yasin Willis is their leader. We'll see if he's back this weekend. But I don't expect them to run the ball traditionally very well. So, if you can, as long as you can, that doesn't become a problem. You should have opportunities to generate pressures and then generate, tackles for loss. Because I think the two FBS teams that Syracuse has played had a lot of opportunities and generated quite a bit of TFLs. So I got to see it, man. This is a get right game for the defense. This is a type of matchup that I think is favorable as long as you hold up on the back end. And so we'll see kind of whether Clemson's DBs answer to the challenge, because they did give up some plays to Haynes King through the air, and that just can't happen when you're when you already have to worry about his ability as a runner. So, like I said, you don't have to worry about that with Steve Angeli. So this should be an opportunity for the front seven to get after it, and the DBs just need to hold up on the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. DB's got to hold up. Luckily for them, they don't have to worry about their, peeking in the backfield too much this week because they don't have Haynes King there, waiting to you run 20 yards on you. So look for Clemson to take advantage of it. I look for that defensive line, that front seven, to take advantage of it. Get after the quarterback. See if you can create some negative plays, some tackle for loss. Don't allow them to establish a running game. Not that they've been able to do that at all this season, but still, I don't want Clemson to be the get right game for their running game. So,
No.
manage that, and then, like I said, the offense. Just focus on getting your playmakers the ball in space. Just do that for once. Let's do that and see if we can get any sort of traction. But should be a good game. Hopefully, Clemson can find some semblance of an identity on offense because they need it in the worst way.
Yeah, 100%. They absolutely do. And we got to see it. I really think that this is I mean, like I said, defensively, that this is the time. And then on the other side of the football, I definitely expect to see a lot of Syracuse play this game. A lot of what how Georgia Tech did. They're going to mix up their looks, but they're going to drop guys in coverage and force Cade to make reads because so far this season, he just has not been able to do it. So I definitely think running the football, committing to running the football should be a point of emphasis. I think you got to win this matchup up front. You need to have a game, a confidence builder for this offensive line that just flat out has not played well through 3 games. Things you got to take some pressure off. You got to force Syracuse to put guys in the box because that's what you didn't do against Georgia Tech. And it killed you for a lot of that game, and obviously there were, when you did start, you saw it when Clemson did have success running the football. All of a sudden, some big plays opened up. Obviously, the explosive play to Bryant Wesco was huge. So I really think that this Syracuse defense isn't anything special. I mean, they've given up points, they've given up yards to all 3 of their opponents. I definitely don't expect them to be a stalwart defensively, but then again, this Clemson team hasn't made any defense, look, any worse than the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. So
Hey, look here. Hey, Clemson's offense is capable of making it look hard against any defense. They nothing looks easy for them on offense. They make everything look difficult. So I expect them to have a better performance, but we'll see. To be determined.
Yeah, to be determined is right. It really is concerning. And I just you don't know what you're going to get from this team offensively week to week. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, I think this Syracuse team is certainly they're flawed. They're playing decent, but I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I'll say that. I don't. That's not what I see when I watch this team. But then, like I said, it doesn't matter for this Clemson team. Whether the opponent is that great or not. It seems so. Because I don't trust this group to execute the little things correctly. But yeah, running for the offense, it's running the football and committing to running the football. Give Adam Randall as many carries. I don't mean run him into the ground because I don't think he has the conditioning yet to do that. He had to take himself out of the game once or twice on Saturday. But he can't have less carries than Cade. You need to run Cade Klubnik. I think it's good for him when he gets some opportunities to run the football. So I don't have a problem with that. But I don't think that you need to run him. I don't think he needs to be your leader in rush attempts every game.
He's no. just not at the volume that they did. But I don't mind it. It gets them into the flow of the game. So, but I would like to see more carries from our traditional running backs, Adam Randall, Easy E, Gideon Davison, those guys. Give them some touches, give them some opportunities to get going.
Yep, 100%. And they're, obviously the biggest thing that worries me about this Syracuse team is their passing game. They do have like I said, they do have a prolific passing game. They have some really, really dynamic receivers. They use their backs in the passing game. They have a really good tight end who, if I remember correctly, he was at Syracuse the last time Clemson played them back in 23.
23? Yeah, 2023. Yep.
Yeah. And he had a couple of big plays. I think Dan Villari, I think he's a converted quarterback. So, but he's come along this year. He's made some big catches for them through 3 games. So, I mean, they do have a pretty good complement of weapons for Steve Angeli to throw to. They don't have an Oronde Gadsden. Thankfully, I don't think they have a player quite that good, but their receivers have made a lot of plays this year, and they're going to use their backs in the passing game. And like I said, they do have a really nice tight end. So, you're going to have to cover. You're going to have to account for everybody, that every eligible receiver when you play Syracuse, and they're going to do a lot of things to create some favorable matchups and put stresses on your defense. So, like I said, getting after it, knowing that they don't have a mobile quarterback, I think is the key. You got to win your matchups. This defensive line has to live up to its billing. They've got to win their matchups. They got to get home, because otherwise you will get burned. It's just because they're going to throw a lot at you in the passing game.
Yep.
All right. I think that exhausted. Any other keys to this game? I mean, what do you see for this team in terms of if this team is going to get the passing game going? Where does it come from? Does it come from Cade just getting easier reads? Does it come from this team just getting more creative in terms of just getting the ball out in space and making getting guys more run after catch opportunities? Because we haven't seen that a ton, but when they have gone to it, it's worked. I almost wish they would run more running back screens. That was something that was mentioned to me in a discussion I was having off in a group chat. It was I mean, when's the last time we ran a screen to the running back? With right. Adam Randall's receiver background.
You got a former receiver there that's a big body guy that can catch the football, right? So I mean, I think that's kind of where it's at for me, Jordan, is like I just feel like this offense has got to get more creative when it comes to getting playmakers the ball in space and just allowing them to do what they do best. And that's, yards after catch, and just being dynamic in the open space and making people miss. I think that's kind of where it starts. Give Cade some easy reads early, get him in a rhythm, maybe run him a couple times. And then, like I say, like you say, or running back screens, get the running back on, some crossers out of the backfield or something, like just easy completions that also get your athletes the balls out in space so they can create. Because right now, like I said, everything for this offense looks difficult. It looks like you're running in quicksand. That's what this offense looks like when they're trying to move the ball down the field most of the time. So you gotta create some momentum there in some way, and I think the best way for that is to just get creative with your guys that are big playmakers. Your Brian Westco's, your TJ Moore's, your Antonio Williams, if he happens to be back. Cole Turner, name whoever you want to name, and then Adam Randall and all those guys out of the backfield. That's what Clemson needs to focus on this week. And I think if they do, they could see themselves have some success against this Syracuse defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And they found some things that worked. I mean, they ran that Tyler Brown sweep a couple of times, and he got 11, 12 yards like both times. Like it was a very effective play, very easy. It got him the ball out in space, and he made a couple of guys miss, and it was just an easy first round. Took the thinking out of Cade's hands. Don't put a read on it or anything. Just run it straight up. When you do give it, like those are the times where the motion is actually the defense is actually forced to respect the motion. Like so, it really it's simple things like that. I think you saw more of that in the second half against Georgia Tech, and that was good to see. So maybe maybe that's something they build on because just Cade is not seeing the field well, so stop forcing him to see the field. Just make it easy for him because obviously he cannot be trusted to make full field reads right now.
No, quick completions, easy completions. That's what we need to start with.
Yeah,
and then maybe we can grow from there. But let's try to get a bit of a faster start. Yeah, I see y'all in the comments section. I got it. I misspoke there a little bit, but I corrected it.
I wasn't gonna. I don't know if you saw. I smirked a little bit, but I didn't.
I saw them in there talking their mess.
Yeah. Oh man, that was something. All right, I think that's gonna exhaust the previews. We're about to give our score predictions, but before we do that, I want you guys to hear a word from Mark Rogers.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
All right, you heard that from Mark Rogers. Y'all go and check that out if you are a degenerate gambler. It is the Voice of College Football Bets. Best place to go do that. Join up on Patreon. All right, man. It's time. Let's give our score predictions for this game. We are not doing very well in our score predictions right now.
No.
Just even the one game we picked correctly, we didn't pick correctly.
No.
So this is we are both off to a rough start in 2025. Let's see if they can correct it we can correct it this weekend. This game is, for a lot of reasons, like I said, it's a must win. Not just for the obvious reasons of record and ACC, contention and staying alive there, but for pride, for the program, for the hope that this team can still right the ship, in the hope that this program isn't on a complete downward spiral. All of those things are optically are in the balance in whether or not they win this game. This, like I said, this Syracuse team is going to present a lot of matchup, a lot of matchups that are favorable, but there's also that, there's also some things that have me worried, and they certainly have some questions on the injury front that I'm interested to see whether those guys play, because they could make a difference. I mean, I think that if their starting tackles are in, obviously that's much better than having backups. If they get their running back, that's a big deal. I think Justin Ross Simmons, one of their receivers, is also left the game against Colgate last week, but I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to play. So I think injury wise, that's going to be something I'm keeping an eye on as we get later in the week. Of course, Syracuse is going to release an injury report, I think, on Thursday, as required by ACC rules. So we'll definitely know more then. But until then, I'm going to operate as if they are playing. I think I am in no position to pick this team to win any game comfortably. I'm honestly in no position to pick this team to win any game right now, at least any Power 4 game, because they are. I don't know if you've seen Clemson's recent record against Power 4 teams, but it is not good dating back to last season. So I think they're 3-6 in their last 9 against Power. It's something like or 3-5. I don't remember what it is. I saw it on Twitter the other day, or today, and I already forgot it. And I saw the comparison to Vanderbilt, and they are actually better in a couple of those categories than Clemson in that span. So
that's just sad, man. That's sad.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. So this game has some things that worry me. I mean, I think this will be the best passing attack that you've played, just in terms of at least in terms of performance. I mean, obviously, I think LSU has talent at quarterback and at receiver, but they have not been particularly great this year throwing the ball as it stands right now. This is the best performing passing game that you will have played. But I also think this is the worst rushing attack that you've played. So,
yes,
I don't know. Something's got to give. You got to. I don't know if we're going to see Steve Angeli throw for 350, 400 yards, or this Clemson being able to stop the run. It actually hampers them, and they get some pressure. But I'm going to predict based off of what this team has shown me, and I'm going to pick that Clemson wins a really, really tight football game. I'm going Clemson 27, Syracuse 24. It's going to be that's kind of where I am right now. You
know what? I'll switch my prediction up a little bit, but that was my exact prediction for this game.
Nice.
So I'll switch it up just for, I guess, some variety there. I'll go Clemson 31, Syracuse 28.
Yeah. Have you seen the spread for this game?
Yeah, 17.5.
17.5.
I don't know what Vegas is talking about. Why would they give Clemson 17 or give Syracuse 17.5 points? That's crazy to me. I wouldn't pick Clemson 17.5 over anybody right now.
Yeah.
There ain't no way. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I think the over-under for it's 55.5. So I don't know, man. Clemson, I don't think Clemson's gonna win by 17 points. I don't. Yeah. I just don't. I don't trust this team.
Yeah, I can't trust. What were they favored by against Troy? 33, 31?
33.5 or something like that. It was crazy. And we almost got beat. So that clearly didn't happen. But yeah, no. I'll go that was my exact score prediction. So it's funny. We're kind of thinking the same things when it comes to this Clemson Tiger team and what's going to happen against Syracuse on Saturday. So you got 27-24. I got 31-28.
All right. We're both predicting field goal wins in a game that we're favored by 17.5. That hilarious, but funny how how attitudes change, how opinions change when you see what we've seen through 3 weeks. It's not encouraging. But Vegas still likes Clemson. Like I said, I do think part of it is I do think there are a lot of matchups in Clemson's favor in this football game, but I can't trust them to win those matchups. So
we've seen that before. And it didn't work out for us.
Like on paper, like
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. If I was going to bet this game, which I'm not, I would take Syracuse in the points.
Yeah, I'm not picking any Power 4 team to or any Clemson to cover against any Power 4 team right now. At least not any competent Power 4 team. I mean, shoot, I guess if they were playing like I don't know who's the worst team in the Power 4 right now. Maybe Stanford or something. Like I think they would cover the spread against Stanford. They are awful, but like everybody else, I don't know. I don't know if I would pick them to cover the spread. And especially against Syracuse, given the history, I know it's a different coach. It's not Dino Babers. I know but like I can't pick this team to blow out Syracuse, a team that's been a thorn in Clemson's side for a long time. John says they'll cover against UNC. Yeah, maybe. We'll see when that game rolls around. I don't know. I think we lost TPC, but I know he also said he might have to. He could only be about an hour. His daughter has a double header tonight, so he's in for a long night. So, but you guys get your score predictions in here, and we will go ahead and transition to reading the comment section or reading the live chat. Of course, if you want to make sure your super chat is read, the super chat feature is available. So that is the best way to do that. Oh, and we got him back.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened to my audio. Like all of a sudden I just couldn't hear what you were saying. So I couldn't figure it out. So I just had to back out and come back in.
Well, it worked out. We were just getting to the comments, getting people's score predictions. Let's see. Isaac says this game is about pride. Clemson 34, Syracuse 28.
We're about to find out if this Clemson team has any pride. We're about to find out.
Oh yeah.
So if they got any pride, if they got any self-respect, they'll come out and get it done against Syracuse. If not, like I said, it could turn into a really, really, really long season, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, if Clemson scores 34, I'm like, hey, we might have something. I mean, which is crazy to say because, like, if given the expectations I had for this offense, I would have expected. I would have been like, they better score 30 plus.
That's it. That's all they got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming into the season, I would have been like, 34. I guess they had an okay day.
Yeah.
Right now, it'd be amazing. I think we're 112th in the country in scoring offense with averaging less than 20 points a game. Just pitiful, man. Pitiful. Nowhere close to what we thought it was going to be.
Nope. Let's see. John is thinking Clemson beats the spread. Yeah, I mean, if they do,
I believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I believe it when I see it. I'm out on this offense until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
They do not look like they can get anything done. And I know it started coming together at times in that Georgia Tech game. There were stretches where Clemson had some stuff going, but consistently, they can't be trusted right now.
Yeah. And they can't be trusted because they can't be trusted to finish. Like, and that's the thing. Like because we saw when they put drives together in that second half. I mean, the first drive. I mean, you go right down the field, and then all it takes is one boneheaded decision by your quarterback, which we've seen a lot of, and all of a sudden your momentum is killed. You don't get any points, and just when you have a quarterback that's playing the way he is and the way he has in the past, at least, you know, reverting back to what he was as a first-year starter. Can't trust this team to finish. Like I think they'll move the ball just fine. I don't have any. I don't think Syracuse is good enough to stifle Clemson, you know, moving the football. But are they going to score points? Our turnover is going to be a problem. I mean, I have no reason to believe they won't be. And you know, and obviously they just have a propensity of stalling out. It's too often. Adam Walker says, I performed a rain dance in my backyard to break the curse on this offense. Clemson 41, Cuse 20.
I hope it worked.
I hope it worked, man. I might have to do one too. I don't know. Maybe if the entire fan base collectively does it, maybe that'll fix it. Justin. He says, y'all need to believe in Clemson, be all in. I'm not going to say that one, but go Tigers. Clemson wins by 2 touchdowns. I will take a 2-touchdown win. I'll take a 2-touchdown win. Trevor Porter says, Lowell 31-28, double overtime, Orange team wins. Yeah. Well, we do know the Orange team will win, but other than that, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah. A team wearing orange will win on Saturday. Yes.
Adam says we will have at least 4 sacks this weekend too. They're going to like the opportunities for sacks.
We should.
Yeah. They should be there.
We should.
I mean, Tennessee, like I said,
with the guys we got on that front, we absolutely should.
Yeah. Tennessee had 5, and UConn had 3. Like, so, I mean, Trevor says Clemson will always have my love and support, but they've lost my trust so far this year. I mean, yeah, I think that's extremely valid. I think that's where the majority of the fan base is right now.
I think that's about, you know, the most rational take that you could have right now. You can't trust them. You can hope that they turn it around, and believe me and Jordan hope they turn it around too. But I just can't trust them right now.
Yeah, you just can't. Let's see. Adam told John to be ready to talk me off the ledge Saturday afternoon. Yes. Man, I'm telling you.
It's going to be something. It's going to be something.
Justin says, when will Khalil be back playing? Maybe this week. We don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? Same thing with Antonio Williams. I mean, we won't know till they release it on Thursday. Hey, you get both of them back. That's awesome. You know, maybe that's certainly a nice shot in the arm. But I mean, especially Antonio Williams. But I don't know. Does Antonio Williams being back in the lineup mean this offense all of a sudden wakes up and everything looks different? I doubt it. As important as Antonio is to this offense, I mean
that's not
what we've seen so far. It has not. I mean, the offensive line isn't struggling because Antonio Williams isn't out there. Like, I mean, I just no.
Yeah.
Chase says, if I'm Gideon or Eazy-E, I'm hitting the portal. Why stay if they're not getting carries? I mean,
that's what you have to worry about.
Yeah.
That's definitely what you have to worry about.
And listen, I love that. I mean, I want Adam Randall to get carries. I mean, I think he's been your most consistent offensive weapon. I mean, I think your best offensive weapon this year has been Wesco, but he's had he's had a couple of drops, and it's but the big plays have been really big plays. But Adam Randall has been your most consistent player on offense by far. And you could argue he's been your best player too, but certainly most consistent. And
absolutely,
I think that says a lot. Shout out to my guy Faxon Childress over on the Roar. He put together a really nice thread, and outlined kind of how well Adam Randall is actually producing, especially relative to previous run games for Clemson, and relative to the quality of run blocking they've gotten. And this is, so far this season through 3 games, this is the worst in terms of, if you care about PFF grades, this is the worst run blocking offensive line that Clemson's had in the last 5 seasons. So, and he's producing at an efficiency very comparable to, the running backs from those previous years. So, I mean, I think it says a lot. I mean, he's not a perfect back by any means, but he is. I think he's done what's been asked of him. Let's see. John says Louisiana something or other sacked Nuss 3 times in week 2, made our defense look worse. Yeah, I think who did they play? They played Lafayette, I think. Yeah.
And LSU's offense has looked rough so far this season. So it doesn't make us look any better.
They scored 20 points on Florida, and DJ Lagway threw them 5 picks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you would have told me, you would have spotted, like, coming into the season, you would have spotted that LSU team 5 extra possessions, I'd have been like, oh man, they probably put up 70.
Yeah.
But not the case.
Nope.
Not the case.
Florida actually had a better offensive success rate in that game. That tells you a lot. Really, just the turnovers were what cost them. And I don't know what's up with. I think it came out that Nuss has been playing hurt, which obviously was a rumor even prior to the Clemson game. But it's been kind of shocking how bad they've been, and it's not been a glow. I mean, that week 1 game, it hasn't been a glowing endorsement for either team. Well, honestly, looking back on it, Clemson, it might have been a miracle they only lost by 7 points in that game. So, All right. Isaac Smith with a BYOG or sell. Cade gets drafted in the first 3 rounds of the 26th NFL draft. I can't even think about that right now. I mean, as it stands right now, I'm not taking Cade Klubnik with a first 3 round pick.
No, just
not. I don't even know if I don't know if he's I don't even know if I would draft him, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe in like the
Day
6th.
3.
So, maybe 6th, 7th round. I'm not. Like, just based off of his 2024 tape, is like, okay, maybe I can find a way to get that out of him. But as it stands now, he's already not a very physical specimen for the position, and he's an above average athlete. He's a pretty good athlete, all things considered. But the arm is not special. I mean,
he doesn't have the strongest of arms.
No,
I don't know. No. Selling on that.
The things that sold me about Cade Klubnik potentially being a first round pick was his accuracy, he doesn't have great arm strength, but he has good arm talent. He can layer the football. He can make some pretty high difficulty throws. His leadership and obviously being a plus athlete helps a lot too. Like, I thought those things, if anything, were going to be things that helped this team or helped, his draft stock. Because obviously, compared to other quarterbacks in his class, like I said, he's not the most physically imposing. He's not a Lenore Sellers. He's not a Garrett Nussmeier in terms of stature or build. well, I mean, Garrett Nussmeier's not that big either, but he doesn't have the physical tools that. But Nussmeier has a much stronger arm, and Arch Manning obviously has not played very well, but the tools he certainly has. The athleticism is certainly there. So you look at the quarterback. Honestly, this quarterback draft class hasn't looked that great in general, but as it stands right now, I mean, I'm selling. I'm not taking Cade with a top 3 round pick. I mean, not the way he's playing. I mean, he's putting on honestly, he's putting up undraftable tape right now. If I'm a GM, if I didn't know anything about 2024, like don't put the Texas game on my screen. Like I don't care. Doesn't matter. If you just evaluate what we've seen through 3 games this year, Cade is not a draftable quarterback. Just is what it is. I don't think there's any way you can argue it. Just none of that nothing on he's shown on tape so far through 3 games shows a draftable quarterback. He hasn't been the better quarterback in any game he's played so far. Even including Crowder for Troy. He played better than him than Cade did. Yeah, he had a couple of unfortunate interceptions, but throughout the game, he was a much more confident thrower and much more steady thrower of the football than Cade was, and he certainly wasn't better than Haynes King on Saturday. So, like, that's just I mean. But that's what I'll say. We'll see if he turns it around this season. We can talk about it, and when if you get better play out of him and something more akin to what we saw last season, maybe. But as it stands right now, like I mean, just his tape so far this year has just not been. It ain't been it, man.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't think he'll be drafted very high. That's just my opinion. Obviously, the outlook was much different prior to this season because of how well he performed last season. I mean, you're talking 4,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Like, he had an amazing season. But he's not even close to making that happen right now, and I don't think he's going to come close to it by season's end.
Yeah. I have no reason to think so right now. Because, I mean, like last year didn't start out great. Obviously, the blowout loss to Georgia, but we saw it was an immediate turnaround. Obviously, the App State game was just they played an inferior opponent, and then all of a sudden, their issues were fixed. Now, I mean, they played like LSU rolls around this year. Okay, we talked about the game. It's like, man, that was not a good football game. Cade did not play very well, but it doesn't mean that this team, the rest of the schedule is going to present a ton of challenges. And then you come out against Troy and you're down 16-0 before you're able to blink. Like, I mean, that just the comparisons to last season, like they're gone by that point. You're like, okay, clearly there's something wrong here. Like this is not. I don't know if we're going to get that Cade Klubnik this season. I have no reason to believe it right now.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't appear like we're going to. I mean, I hope he turns it around. I really do. I would love to see him, replicate what he did last year for the rest of the season and go get drafted and, all that amazing stuff. But I just, much like you, I don't see it happening at this point.
All right, let's see. John says if Eazy was not happy, I think he would have left already. A lot of games left for him to get snaps too. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, I do think that he likes being at Clemson, but I mean, listen, he was a 4-star running back coming out of high school. I mean, he had some good offers. I mean, Auburn wanted him. There are other places, that would happily have him and give him an opportunity to, to play, but you're not giving him an opportunity. I don't know. He was supposedly your RB2 coming into the season, and he hasn't even. He's been kind of a non-factor in the running game.
I mean, if we don't get it turned around this season and make this season somewhat, a decent season for us, with all the talent that we're already losing, like you could see. I mean, I could see it being a bad portal season for us. And eventually this stuff starts affecting actual recruiting as well. So, I mean, they got to get it together.
Chase asks, what do you guys think is up with TJ Parker? He's been non-existent so far. I mean, some of it is just how he's being played this year. I mean, teams are game planning for him. I do see that when I watch the tape. Like, they are, making sure that they have an extra blocker, guys that to help out. So I mean, that's part of it. I mean, he can't just blow up every single double team. So I don't. That's not what I expect. I mean, Dylan Stewart at South Carolina is having the same problem right now. But like, there are times, even in one-on-one situations, where he's getting absolutely washed out of the play, like just flat out. Like, he's just getting whooped. He had some really rough reps against Georgia Tech over the weekend. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't tell you what the actual issue is. I don't know. I mean, he's got to wake up. I mean, you got to get more out of him at this point. He's getting, Will Helt has outshined him quite a bit, and I think Will Helt has certainly benefited from TJ Parker being on the other side, so I don't want to dismiss that, but TJ is just. I mean, you got to find other ways to make an impact. I mean, because he's not even getting a ton of tackles for loss in the run game. He's not making other plays, and he's not even getting a ton of pressures. Like, he does not look like his self from last season, because there were times. I mean, he got double teamed at times last year. I mean, it's not like nobody knew who TJ Parker was last year, and opposing offenses didn't know the game plan for him. They certainly did. So he still had double-digit sacks last year. So I mean, something's got to be different. He's got one. And the one sack he got against Troy was really kind of fortunate off of a poor snap, and he kind of got nice leverage because the quarterback was really deep into it. Had to be really deep in his drop to collect the football.
Yeah.
So it's just he had the angle and just one that was pure. That was just pure angles that he was able to get that. So but we haven't seen him just win a one-on-one and sack the quarterback. That just has not happened this year.
No, it definitely hasn't. He looks very different this season. Definitely not affecting the game in the ways that we thought he would. But hopefully, much like a couple other things for Clemson, he can get it turned around.
Yep. Let's do a couple more. KD says BYG or sell. Defense and special teams scored 2+ touchdowns this weekend. Defense and special teams 2+ touchdowns. Yeah, I'm selling on that. Yeah, this defense has they've been pretty good. Well, I mean, they didn't even force a turnover. A true turnover on Saturday. They've only the only turnovers they forced. They did so against LSU they had the early fumble that Avion Terrell forced.
Yes.
And then Troy, they had a good bit of turnover luck, but they didn't generate any true. They had a couple of turnovers on downs, but they didn't generate a true turnover against Georgia Tech, did they?
I
don't think so.
I think they had one. It was right after that Cade Klubnik interception in the red zone.
Yeah, they got it. They
turned
got
them
it. They got it. That was. I think that wasn't that a turnover on downs. I don't know if
It
they.
might have been. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, because that was they motioned the tight end under center and tried to run a sneak.
Oh, yep.
And they got stuffed.
Yeah,
He might have fumbled that, but I don't know if that Clemson. It was. I don't know. I don't know if Clemson actually recovered that or not. I don't think they did. But
yeah, either way, he was short, so
yeah.
it didn't really matter whether Clemson recovered it or not. It was going to be Clemson's football. So
yeah, they had the turnovers and the turnover on downs, but I don't think they had a true turnover against Georgia Tech.
Couple turnover on downs. That one goal line stand against Georgia Tech, and then that fourth down stop right after Clemson had just turned the ball over. So not traditional takeaways, but still a couple times getting your offense some opportunity.
Cheese is nasty says I don't see anyone getting drafted to be honest. No, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I think there are quite a few players on this team that are going to get drafted. I just don't think it's going to be. They may not all get drafted as high as maybe we had hoped for or going into the season. Like I think the only lock for a true first round lock on this team is Peter Woods. I think he's going first round no matter what, barring like some catastrophic injury. I think he's going first round. Too talented. The power in his hands, the dominance. That you don't get that much. Those types of prospects don't come around very often. I think he's a bona fide lock for a first round.
I'll give you an example, right, of why Clemson losing doesn't matter, right? LSU's offensive line last year. How good were they?
Not great.
Not great. Couldn't run the football. How many of those guys got drafted last year?
4.
So, again, just because the on-field play doesn't necessarily look like what you think it should, doesn't mean they're not going to get drafted. They're absolutely getting drafted.
Yeah, I think. I think Peter Woods. I think TJ Parker's a lock to get drafted. I mean, he's not playing well right now, but he's going to get drafted. He's too good not to get drafted. I think Avion Terrell is getting drafted. I think Antonio Williams, as long as the injuries don't hamper. I mean, he's going to get drafted. Blake Miller is going to get drafted.
Yeah.
I don't like this team is like I definitely wouldn't go that far. I just think some of these guys, their draft stock has taken a hit. Like they might not get like TJ Parker had first round hype. I don't know if he goes first round as it stands right now. Maybe he goes second. I think it would take a lot of poor play for him to just like fall out of the first couple of rounds, but he's certainly not playing his best right now. But I still think he's going to get drafted. Who else?
Because when he goes to the combine and measures well and tests well, they're going to forget all about some of that bad tape that he put out there.
Yeah,
they just will. The NFL does it all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. I think those guys are pretty much locks to get drafted. I would, I need Wade Woodass to step it up a little bit because I think he's a draftable prospect, but he's the last game was not very good. I think he's been a little bit. I think the first couple of games he was better than maybe the fan base maybe thought, but last weekend certainly was not a good game for him. It was rough. Yeah. So there are still plenty of draftable players on this team. I just they're not playing well. A lot of them aren't playing well. Adam says Avion would be a first rounder if he was a little taller. Yeah, he still might be a first rounder. I think he's going to be one of those fringe guys because of because of the measurables. Because there's not many that are technique wise, and he's a pretty complete corner in terms of skill set. But he's just small. He's undersized, so it doesn't. NFL teams are going to have they're going to have some hesitancy about where to put him. Like, I was like, okay, well, in the league, is he going to be a nickel or can we trust him to play on the outside? Because he plays bigger than 5'11" or whatever he's listed at, but it is a limitation. He doesn't have the natural physical tools that his brother did, and that's what makes it difficult. Adam, Miami fan, he says, imagine Peter Woods and Reuben Bain playing beside each other. Good luck. Yeah, I mean, both of those guys.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, you could line them up. I mean, both of those guys are guys that can line up pretty much anywhere on the line and make plays. So that would be scary. Yeah, Reuben Bain has certainly been better than TJ Parker this year. That's for sure. And he would probably be the first defensive end I'd take in this year's draft, as it stands right now. Him or Keldrick Falk over at Auburn. I think those are have been the two best in this draft class so far. And good on Bain to get back, because I know he was injured last season and was playing out of position at times too. So good. He's a very good player, so it's good to see him back. It's good to see him healthy and playing at his best. New King Goddess, who are your top 3 teams in the ACC? I mean, there hasn't been a lot of separation because we haven't really gotten to conference play. It's hard to gauge like what results are truly indicative of how good the team is. But right now, I think Miami is comfortably is in that group. Florida State so far with how they've played is in there. I mean, I think you still got to see more, but and then after that, obviously Georgia Tech is off to a great start.
I'd probably go Georgia Tech. I'd probably go 1 Miami, 2 Florida State, 3 Georgia Tech right now, like as it stands.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that.
But subject to change as the season goes. I mean,
right.
A lot can happen between now and Charlotte. But if I had to pick the top 3 in the conference right now, those would be my top 3.
Isaac Smith says, I expect a lot of turnover in the offseason. Dabo will have no choice but to fully embrace the portal. I mean, I think there will definitely have to be some conversations about how much. I'm going to be very interested to see how much resources they dedicate to it, because there's always that thing in the back of your head, knowing Dabo. It's like he's going to find any reason to he can to maybe rely on a high school guy over a portal take. But I mean, with everything you're losing, unless you magically get in another year from some guys you weren't expecting, that's about it. I mean, I think you have to. I think you got to embrace, going into the portal. I don't mean like portaling in a new team, but like, you're certainly going to have to address some holes.
Yeah, like I said before, something's got to change. Clearly, what you're doing is not working. So I think that applies to the off season as well.
Yeah. New King God also asks, does the ACC have a national championship contender? I don't see one. I mean, between the top 3 teams we named, I don't. I mean, obviously, I think Miami would, roster-wise, would have the best shot because they've recruited the best of that group. But I'm not ready. The past with Miami is still holding me back from like fully, buying into that. I think they're a playoff contender. Obviously, I mean, if you're an ACC contender, you're a playoff contender. If you win the league, you'll be in the playoff. But
I mean, if I had to pick one team from the ACC right now, it'd be Miami.
Yeah,
they look really good.
Yes, they've given me the least amount of pause so far. And they have a marquee win. So
Carson Beck is lighting it up. He's playing great. Their defense is much better than it was last year.
Oh yeah.
Which it was easy to improve with how bad it was last year, but they actually look pretty good,
Mhm.
objectively on defense. So, I mean, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot still in front of them. But, if you're looking for a best bet out of the ACC right now, they're probably your pick.
Yep. Let's see. Hard Take says, I think they should apply heavy pressure and press coverage to stop these teams with this screen game and quick passes. Well, I mean, that has, historically has been the identity of Clemson is playing a lot, is sending a lot of pressures and being a man heavy team. That's their identity. I just through 3 games, I just haven't seen that from Tom Allen a ton. I mean, they've been content to drop guys in coverage, and I mean, I get it with you feel like you have a good defensive line, but they're not especially in the passing game, they're not getting home like you thought. So I mean, you got to do some things different because hell, I mean, I hate to. I mean, it's funny because when you think about what happened the last time you played Georgia Tech. Wes Goodwin was your defensive coordinator, and he sent a lot of pressures, and he overwhelmed Georgia Tech and Haynes King, and really just didn't give them time to work things, kind of diagnose things and run. They put guys in the box, and they trusted their defensive backs to win, and that was. I think he won that game by what, like 21 points. So Clemson historically, that's just been their identity. Especially when you think back to the Brent Venables years. I mean, that's what they were. And again, I don't expect Tom Allen to be Brent Venables, but they got to find some ways to get more pressure on the quarterback, because if the front four is not going to be able to get home consistently, you gotta be more blitz heavy. It is what it is, because they're not. Teams are holding up remarkably better than I would have expected, and that's certainly concerning. And I'm raising my eyebrows at certain people on the staff. So we'll see. All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll get on out of here. With Cade's, like Mike says, with Cade's poor play this season, if it continues for much longer, do you see any chance for Vizina to get some more snaps, maybe even start? I mean, it has to be on the table. I mean, if he continue, Dabo would kind of shot down that possibility this weekend. He said Cade's our guy, but listen, you got to keep it on the table.
There's got to be any and all options on the table right now, I think, for this offense.
Yeah.
Because of how poorly they've played, and because of how difficult it looks when they're trying to put drives together. So, I mean, I think it would take quite a bit for Cade to be benched, just because, we kind of know how Dabo operates, but it's gotta be a possibility, because, the offense has just looked downright bad.
Yeah.
For 3 straight weeks. And they don't really look to be getting any better anywhere in sight. You don't see improvement. So, marked improvement from drive to drive here and there, but as far as consistency wise, this offense has a long way to go. So, like I said, I think any and all things have to be on the table for this offense, because you got to figure out something that's going to work, so you can win some football games.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to end it off with comments from our channel members. Arthur Moss gets in. He says, "Hey guys, who would have thought that punter would be a bright spot on this team?" SMH. Yeah.
Man, you couldn't have bet me enough money to take that coming into the season. You could, there's no way I would have ever believed you that would be the bright spot. 3 games.
Not at all, man. Jack Smith's been phenomenal.
He's doing his thing, man. Shout out to him. I'm happy for him. But full transparency, I had zero confidence coming into the season. But he's certainly got his opportunity, and he's making the most of it. So
Maybe he's just a better game player than practice player. I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, some guys are like that, you know. So clearly, he's getting it done in the game. So I'm not worried about it anymore.
I remember
think
the
he's
first.
fine.
I mean, first media availability at fall camp. Shout out to Fax and Childress. He the first day of media availability, like Fax he's on the sideline, and he almost got nailed by one of Jack Smith's punts, and Jack was only like 15 yards away from him. Like it's remarkable. When I heard that story, I was like, oh boy. I mean, listen,
Oh Lord.
It's going to be a long year. But then, like, in terms of punting, and he's been dynamite. He's averaging over 45 yards a punt. Like, he's been flipping the field consistently. Like, putting a lot of leg in it, getting a lot of air time. We haven't had like any big returns. He's done a good job. Like, this is amazing. I don't know what to say. I mean, it certainly helped this team, because Lord knows they've needed some field position to go their way. So
no doubt about it.
And David Lowry says Beck is playing better at Miami than he did at Georgia. I mean, it's hard to argue, especially compared to last season. Yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
Beck is. I mean, I think he's in a good spot. He's got a run game. I mean, that's one thing that was shocking about Georgia last year, was they weren't great running the football, and his receivers are making plays for him.
Georgia led the country in drops last year, so
yeah,
he wouldn't get a whole lot of help from his wide receivers, and their running game was, according to Georgia standards, abysmal, right? Like, it was bad last year. Yeah, he certainly looks a lot more comfortable in that Miami scheme. He looks, he's got playmakers around him, and they're looking good, man. They're looking good.
Yeah, I mean, the line is good. He's got a good stable of backs. The receivers are. I mean, they've exceeded my expectations. I mean, certainly Malachi Toney, as a true freshman, he's been awesome. He's a stud. He's going to be a really good football player. And the guys are just making plays for him. It's that simple. I mean, it's amazing how good a quarterback can look when guys just make just catch the football. And that's what he didn't have last year. So I mean, I think he's reminding people that he is a talented quarterback, and he can play winning football for you if the supporting cast is good around him. So all right, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Obviously, we got an earlier start than normal, so it's a little bit different, kind of weird ending it off at 9:40, because it seems like we can never go with these shows without like hitting 10 o'clock. So
right.
This was different. We should do it more often. Yeah. We'll start with being on time. We'll keep it at that. But
start with that and see where we can take it.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Seriously, we greatly appreciate it. Of course, me and TPC, we're going to go live for our channel members for the Syracuse game. So y'all make sure that if you want to be a part of that, join the channel with the join button by the description. Pick the tier that you want. It's a great way to support the channel on a monthly basis. And of course, it gives you access to a lot of exclusive content like these live watch alongs. So if that is interesting to you, then go ahead and sign up. Of course, all of you guys that have, well, actually, let me give a thank you to our channel members that joined us: Arthur Moss, David Lowry, and our latest channel member, John Sarian. Thank you so much for contributing to the channel on a monthly basis. We greatly appreciate it. Yes, if you're new to the channel or you want to hear more from us, make sure that you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because it does let you know when we go live. But until then, we will see you guys on Saturday for the post-game show. Win or lose, I have no idea what to expect on Saturday. So it's going to be a fun show regardless. So y'all make sure to join us then. But until then, I'm Jordan Bowman. He's Tiger Paul Craven. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.